Hey y'all, it's David Ducker, Mike Lopez coming back at you. And today we're going to be talking about Mike Lopez. Mike is a member of the All-Star Squadron.
The only surviving member of the All-Star Squadron.
To date, the only surviving member. More may be found in the rubble, the ashes of our campaign. So I'm going to be talking to Mike so that y'all can get to know Mike better. So we'll be shooting out a couple videos of the tag team, YouTube Tag Team Champions. We're challenging Andrew Wood and the Gentleman Gamer. They got nothing on this. The team from Canada, Pink and Black Attack. I was black and he was... Anyways. Mike, what was your very first RPG experience? What got you into the hobby?
Well, I actually started looking into it because of Baldur's Gate. I know many of us grew up playing Baldur's Gate, and no doubt it's a masterpiece of the CRPG. And I looked at it and I said, well, if I enjoy something based on Dungeons and Dragons so much, I know it's a bad word on this channel.
We'll edit that out later. We'll bleep it out.
Surely I would enjoy Dungeons and Dragons.
We'll bleep that out too.
So I ended up joining a game that one of my friends was playing, and I was just in the 10th grade at the time, and the guy that was running it was probably about 30 and, in the military.
Wait, 10th grade, how old were you? 15?
16.
16?
I was old for my age. And I joined the game, and I was terrible and immature, but I had a great time. And then the GM left because he was in the army. And,
went to serve our country, and probably your country, because we're broadcasting from Canada. We like to help people with our army. We got hugs for weapons. We heal at D6 damage. So, Baldur's Gate, loved it. Kept your eyes open for Forgotten Realms type products. Saw the game, came into the game. So what was your first character like?
My first character was a very bland elf named Eldrathin. Don't know where I came up with that name. He used a great sword. His backstory was basically that he was a mischievous troublemaker that got kicked out of his home because he was a mischievous troublemaker, but he had a good heart. And that was about as defined as he was because, well, it was my first time.
Yeah. It's good to stick to the basics your first time. But not with RPGs. So, first character, Elf, what was that first campaign like in terms of the focus, the scope, the style?
It was pretty hard to say. We only lasted about 3 sessions before the guy got sent away to wherever he went.
Yeah.
I know we had one session, some combat with orcs and that sort of thing. And then I think we were trying to go investigate a poisoned water supply. We went into a cave, started doing a little dungeon crawling, and scene. That's it.
Okay. Well, it sounds, again, basic, but there's nothing wrong with keeping it basic as long as you got some depth.
And I played
which
in
I'm
a
sure
lot
you
worse.
didn't have.
I played in a lot worse games than that one was.
Yeah, he's in my game right now. Okay, so that's your background, your history. What kind of gaming style do you enjoy now? Are you a power gamer? Are you narratively focused? What do you like to see at the table?
Yeah, I used to be a bit of a pretty serious power gamer because one of the groups I used to play in university, there was a guy there who he was a good role player, but he came out with this ridiculous optimized character. He was pulling out splat books most of us had never even heard of. And I got really tired of watching him one-shot the big bads while my character was like...
chipping away.
So, I got into a bit of power gaming then. I could build you a character that could sneak attack as a rogue 2 levels higher than him, and he had no levels of rogue.
That's right. Character to rival Elminster.
But that gets old pretty fast. And since I've become a lot more focused on the narrative, what sort of personality can we explore? What kind of motivations? What sort of interactions between clashing and meshing characters, and what kind of story can we tell?
Excellent. Now, how is your teamwork ability? If you do run into someone who's of a different style, can you tolerate them? Do you have a broad variance? Everybody knows I have a very, very narrow variance, and if anybody offends me, I yell at them. Whereas Josh, who we've also had on the program, is very broad. He can power game, he can role play, he can do it all. So where do you say you are? Are you multi-class?
I would say I'm fairly broad. I'm a pretty patient person, and unless someone I feel is a real detriment to the game, I'm not going to have a major issue with them there. I might think someone else could do a better job, but, I mean, we're all here to have fun, right?
Sure.
And unless this is something very serious, and that person came in knowing it's very serious, and now they're not taking it seriously at all, I'm not going to have an issue with most players.
That's right. He did put up with James, so that speaks to his patience.
Honestly, the only time I've, apart from getting tired of that power gamer back in the day, the only time I've genuinely had an issue with a player is when they used an anti-Semitic slur at the table.
Yes, that's true. I always try to stick up for the Jewish people. I have great respect for the Jewish people, and I would never slur against them, nor should you, because Zion will win one day, and we need to be in their good books when that day comes. So it's your style. You get along with everybody, which is itself a wonderful skill. It's not a skill I care about, but a lot of people do care about getting along with other people. What about GMing? Have you ever tried your hand at being the game master?
I have. I've done it a few times. My most successful campaign was it started out being run out of a module, out of a book, because I gave my players a few options and that was what they chose. And then they promptly discarded any pretense of following the main quest. So it turned itself into a sandbox campaign.
Excellent.
Unfortunately, I had to move once that one, and that killed that one. But we all had a good time with it, and my players were all very new but very strong role players. It was like they were too new to worry a lot about power gaming and hunting for loot. Their characters for the most part had motivations and fairly well fleshed out backstories. I was very impressed. Still some weird things happen in that game, but other than that, very it was a good game, and I would gladly play with them.
That's excellent. So they had no habits, including no bad habits, and they proved that Judas Priest is right, and you don't have to be old to be wise. In fact, I know a lot of geezers that lack wisdom entirely, as if it degenerated with age. So that's now. Why don't we add some specifics? So what's your favorite character that you have ever played?
Well, my favorite's probably Ulrich in our current campaign. Now that might be because I'm a complete attention whore, and he's kind of evolved into the main character. But
that was out of our control.
Yes,
I didn't want him to be the main character. I tried to push the spotlight on everybody but him. But he kept showing up, and they had attendance problems. That's really
survival.
That's the story of the campaign. He wore us all down.
Just like his combat style.
So what? We actually could do. We'll do a whole separate video on Ulrich, perhaps. I could get a few more likes, those precious likes, into the God of Dameron Facebook page. We're at 45, and the goal was 50. That way we get 1 like per session. It's, of course, Return of the Rune Fangs, rebranded. So that's your favorite character. What's your favorite role-playing scene, your favorite moment in a game? If there was a single moment, a single session, perhaps.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
What's
Yeah.
the first one that springs to mind?
Well, I was in another campaign again. This one was torpedoed by me having to move.
Yes.
But I had this bard named Klaus.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
And we were in the process of being sort of mobbed by townsfolk who weren't sure whether they were really happy that we had solved a problem that they had, something in an undercity area, or really upset that we might have potentially unlocked some sort of curse.
Okay.
And Klaus being the only party face, and me being ready to take charge, he stepped up and made a bit of a grandiose sort of speech, and I think, if I remember correctly, he ultimately ended up signing an endorsement deal with someone before the end of that scene. It was quite entertaining.
Like a product endorsement?
Yeah. Klaus
Okay.
was very financially oriented. It was in a homebrew world, and his religion was a straight ripoff of the Ferengi in Star Trek.
I knew you'd say that. Now I'll remind our viewers that gladiators in ancient Rome had endorsement deals, so this is not necessarily a modern concept. So that's very interesting. So I'm not sure if I can think of any other questions off the top of my head. And we all know I don't prep these videos. So what else do you feel that the people might want to know about you as they see you guest starring in these future videos, if anything?
Well, I like to keep an open mind, and I like to contradict people.
Excellent. So in some ways we're similar, and in others completely different. Because my mind is closed.
So
It's
when
the
Dave,
only way to protect against mind flayers. Son.
whenever Dave comes and presents his very straight and narrow argument, even if I agree with him, I will be fully ready to state my disagreement.
Excellent. And that's what I need from a guest host of any sort. So we're going to sign off for right now, but Mike will be right back with future videos. Until then, everybody have a good day. Cheers.